Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Terri. I make Philippine Travel Updates. How are you? We're on our last few days of 2021. Today is December 28th. Philippine travel. Philippine airports are busy, domestic airports are busy, crowded guys. These were the photos on domestic travelers last December 26th after Christmas. As you can see, it's crowded. So yeah, be early at the airport and comply with if there is any domestic requirement, for example, S-Pass. While the Bureau of Immigration released a press release the other day talking about arrival and departure, smooth sailing. Okay, that's maybe arrival is smooth sailing, but reminder po, there are still Filipinos na na-offload po. So please comply with any requirements, especially Filipino tourists, CFO ba yan or affidavit of support, itinerary. Yan, comply lang po tayo for smooth sailing daw na departure and arrival. While for others, it may not be smooth. Some flights were canceled, rerouted, or changed. Some were due to the typhoon, others were due to the travel cap. So what we can do is just stay updated with the airline's advisory. However, Lane shared that she arrived. She already in quarantine right now. Overall, okay naman, smooth. Hirap lang maghintay ng car papuntang quarantine hotel haba ng pila. Kaya mas better if may sundo yung quarantine hotel nyo, pasundo na lang kayo. So there you go guys. If you wanna avail sundo po, a cheaper option, cheaper than hotel pickup, is airport taxi drivers. These are reliable taxi drivers po. This tested and proven by kababayans. Kuya Johnny, Kuya Leif, Kuya Rainier, Kuya Good Boy Razul, yan. These airport drivers po have been tested and proven by our kababayans. And apart from sundo or pick up from the airport, they can also do some grocery shopping for you. So if there is anything that you need while on quarantine, and let's say your hotel doesn't allow food deliveries, well, there you go, contact them po. While there have been questions about port of entry, where do you quarantine? Again, it's your first port of entry. It's the golden rule. Anyone here who has been following our channel, following travel updates, would know that you will quarantine in your first port of entry. So for example, this flight San Francisco to Cebu and then Cebu to Manila, she will be arriving on February 26. Where do you quarantine? In Cebu. Kasi yun yung unang airport na papasukan mo sa Philippines. Diba? Cebu talaga dahil bawal yung international to domestic. Kailangan mag-quarantine muna bago mag-move on sa domestic. So this is why I am reminding everybody to guys book your domestic flight separately. So for example, like what I did when I went home, I booked my Sydney to Cebu flight. Book ko yun, and then separate booking yung Cebu to Davao. So separate booking po yung domestic flight. So you can book your domestic flight. I booked mine before arriving in the Philippines. I experienced some anxiety din, konti, because late yung result ko. Pero thank God naman, nakapasok naman. So yun lang, you can book your hotel, your domestic flight prior to arrival in the Philippines or during quarantine, or the best is you book your domestic flight after you receive your negative test result. Pero reminder that, domestic flights can be expensive if i-book mo siya 1 or 2 days before the flight. Or pwedeng maubusan ka din. So it's all about balance. Now, Roland asking me, Jennifer, just read a news report that a periodic COVID-19 statistic reporting will stop. Philippines will be treating the pandemic as an endemic, like a flu. It said it will follow after Singapore. Does it mean that foreigners can freely travel to the Philippines? I am confused since restrictions don't equate to an endemic. Louder, you're right, Roland. Please let us know when I could pack my bags to the Philippines. My status is American, no Filipino connection. Hello, Roland, if you're watching. Yes, Roland is right. The DOH announced the other day that they will no longer release its daily 4 p.m. case bulletin starting the start of the new year, January 1, 2022. Hindi na ba magka-count? They will still count cases, but they will stop posting about it. I don't know why. It's their responsibility since it's a health emergency. So for those asking why would DOH stop posting a case bulletin? There's no reason that's given. Sometimes a relationship ganyan din. It will end without a reason, char. there's always a reason. They're just not telling us. So yes, they're no longer posting, but it doesn't mean that the Philippines will start treating COVID as an endemic. The same restrictions that apply. Sorry, Roland, and many of you are in the same situation right now who are watching. Foreign tourists are still not allowed to enter the Philippines. We're still closed, unfortunately. And if you're asking me, when would we reopen? I'm doing optimistic guess. Is still first quarter of 2022. That's very optimistic guess right now with Omicron. But recently, fourth case of Omicron arrived in the country. A traveler from the USA arrived on the Philippines via Philippine Airlines Flight 127 on December 10. Well, should the Philippines panic? Should there be a lockdown now? Should USA be immediately on red list? Guys, look. This case was found during hotel quarantine, not in the community. That's the point of their hotel quarantine, right? Pero the husband of this fourth Omicron case turned out positive. But there's also a chance that the husband got infected through the community exposure, not through the wife. So let's wait for the update of the government. No-brainer, Omicron will come here. It's not a question of if it will come, it's only a matter of when. It's also not surprising since Omicron has already spread out in other countries. US announced that more than 70% of their cases are Omicron. Other countries also. So it's not surprising. I think for now we just have to be thankful or appreciate that they are not putting a USA on red list. Because if we go back to their metrics on red listing, they said if a country has local transmission of Omicron, they will be on red list. USA, UK, and other countries with Omicron local transmission is not on red list. I think the DOH IATF is adjusting their metrics na kasi what's the point? They did that with Delta. They banned countries with Delta before, and what happened? Still Delta entered the country. So many Filipinos were affected. What's the point? Diba? The important thing now is just to get vaccinated. We already have enough supply, so there is no excuse. The Philippines just have to do their job of vaccinating more people, encouraging more people to get vaccinated, give away incentives, something like that. Now, the end of the month is approaching. You know, the important update always comes 15th and end of the month. New list on red list and green list, so watch out for that, guys. I expected it will come today, pero hindi pala. Baka tomorrow, guys. Or by Thursday, yung important updates on green list, on red list. So watch out for that if you're coming, especially if countries where there are local transmission of Omicron, US, UK, and other European countries. Pero for now, will there be a lockdown? There is no need to panic. The Philippines is still low risk. Yes, there is a steady increase of cases, but our positivity rate is still 2.2%. It's still very low. For people here in the Philippines, no need to panic. Our cases is still very low pa rin. For those who are hoping that quarantine will be removed for January, in my opinion, my advice, do not expect. Do not expect. Let's hope, but do not expect. Anyways, that is all for today po. Today is December 28 nga po, ulit Jennifer. Stay safe po kayo and God bless. And for those po, we're still helping those who are affected by the typhoon, whether that's through prayers or best, cash donations. My YouTuber friend, Paolo, I forgot his last name, Roti, is doing crowdfunding po. If you guys can help, he's a very good person, very reliable. Some of you may already know him. Head to his channel, this one po. You can also subscribe, and if you can extend your help, that would be the best gift you can give to the Filipinos. That is all for today po. Stay safe and God bless. Bye.